Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In this video, we will be talking about Tafkheem and Tarqeeq of the Alif. So Bismillah, let's go ahead. In terms of learning outcomes and what we want to get out from this video, we want to get 2 points. The first one is to identify when the Alif is mufakhamah or muraqqaqah. When the Alif is thick, heavy, and when it is light or thin. And the second objective is to recognize some of the common mistakes with the Alif. So Bismillah, let's go ahead. The first question is, what do we mean by Alif mufakhama and muraqqaqah? Let's take a practical example. So if we say ya, that is muraqqaqah. Ya, or ilahi, that is muraqqaqah. The Alif there is thin, it's light. However, if we say وَلَنْضَالِّينَ, see, that alif is thick. Or قَالُوا, that alif is thick. So the alif that is muraqqaqah sounds like ya, mufakhama sounds like qa. You hear the difference? Ya versus qa. Now the second question is, when is the alif mufakhama and when is it muraqqaqah? The ruling for the alif is that it follows the letter before it. The alif, in terms of tafkheem or tarqeeq, follows the letter before it. So if the previous letter was mufakham or thick, the alif would be thick. قالوا, qa. And if the previous letter was muraqqaq or thin or light, therefore the alif will be thin. Ya is muraqqaq, the alif is thin. Let's look at some examples. So the following words have alif that is mufakhama. Khalidin, kha. See, the alif is mufakhama because the kha is mufakham. Khalidin, wal qa'imin. Same here. Qa. Alif is mufakhama because the qaf before it is thick. And in Surah Al-Fatiha, وَلَنْضَالِّينَ, the alif is mufakhama because the dad before it was thick. مِنَ اللَّهِ, the alif is mufakhama because the letter before it is thick. And يُرَاءُونَ, the alif is mufakhama because the ra in this instance before it is thick as well. On the other hand, let's look at some words which have an alif which is muraqqaqah. So in the word إِيَّاكَ, ya, we say ya, muraqqaqah, thin. We don't say ya, that's thick. And another word, مِنَ النَّاسِ, na, we say na, not na, because the noon before it is again thin. So the alif follows the letter before it. And another one, Bismillah. So the alif here is thin or muraqqaqah because it follows a letter which is thin. In this case, the lam here is thin. And we don't say Bismillah, we say Bismillah. Now, what are some common mistakes that could happen with the alif when we try to make it mufakhama or muraqqaqah? The first one is, when we talk about tafkheem and tarqeeq of the alif, it's all about the cupping of the tongue and the epiglottis moving backwards. So those are the mechanisms that, as we said in a previous video, that cause tafkheem and tarqeeq. Now notice here, we didn't say anything about the lips. Nothing changes in the lips. So we say وَلَنْضَا. A common mistake is to use the lips or to over-exaggerate and try to use the lips to make the alif mufakhama. So a mistake would be to say وَلَنْضَا. You see that? So we don't need to use the lips in this manner. It's just وَلَنْضَا. The lips or the mouth opens normally with the alif. There's no rounding of the lips. Or خَالِدِينَ, kha, the mouth just opens. We don't say kho. You see how that rounding of the lips? That's the first common mistake. And on the other hand, when we want to make a alif muraqqaqah, there's a common mistake where the alif is no longer an alif. It becomes somewhere between an alif and a ya maddiya. For example, the correct pronunciation is to say an-nas, na. Incorrect would be to say na, an, na. You see that? That's kind of an alif between an alif and a ya maddiya. But it should be an-nas. So you open the mouth with the alif. So let's summarize now the key point. When is the alif muraqqaqah and when is it mufakhama? Well, the rule is for the alif that it follows the letter before it in terms of tafkheem and tarqeeq. So if the letter before it is a thick letter, is a letter which is mufakham, a heavy letter, then the alif would be heavy and thick and mufakham. If the letter before the alif is a thin letter or muraqqaq letter, then the alif would be muraqqaq or thin or light. That's it for this video. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.